Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. We have got a Raid Shadow Legends video going over lots of stuff coming to the game. We've even got balance changes to talk about, featuring a Void Legendary as well. And we've got one of the best Void Legendaries in the game in Krisk that is live for a 10x during CvC. We'll talk about some quick tips to refresh your memory on CvC. We'll go over the balance changes and if I think that this will alter the structure of how they are viewed within the game for the champions that are being adjusted, and get you caught up on everything you need to know as we head into the middle of the week for Raid. Let's get into it. Alrighty, and the first thing I want to do is go over the balance changes. This is always very, very important, especially during a CvC, because if you want to build one of these champions that you have on your roster, now is the time to do it during a CvC being live. So let's discuss if I think these changes are going to alter the two champions being adjusted. And the first one is going to be Errol, a Force Affinity Legendary in the Sacred Order. So what we have got here is the A1 being unadjusted. It's going to be left completely alone. The cool thing about Errol is that every single ability has a 30% chance extra to inflict a critical hit. So we could build this guy with insane crit damage and attack because we only have to get to 70% crit rate instead of 100. So that's a pretty big deal. But the first skill being adjusted, and it's a big one, we've got the A2 here, which books to a 3-turn cooldown, and it is going to be changing from attack one enemy 3 times to an AoE multi-hitter, which is really cool. Those are pretty uncommon in the game. It's going to keep the 30%, and then it's also going to just ignore 15% of the target's defense. So it used to be a qualifier with some RNG. Now we just get a multi-hitter AoE, and each hit will ignore 15% of the target's defense. Now, it doesn't tell us the multiplier. We're going to have to do some research and see how that scales. I'm sure the multiplier is probably going to change. I mean, it was one enemy 3 times. I mean, I guess maybe it won't, because now it's just a double hitter, and it's an AoE. Like, I don't know. I'm going to have to get some clarification and test the multiplier a little bit to clarify exactly how hard this is going to hit. But with a 3-turn cooldown, so far, so good. The A2 is going to do a lot more damage and have a lot more potential. And then the A3 also getting an adjustment. This ability used to be really boring. It was just attack an enemy, steal their buffs, and then inflict the extra chance of critical hit. This thing is getting a massive rework. We're going to remove all buffs from Errol before attacking and steal all the buffs to place them on Errol before hitting that target. We still get that extra chance to crit, and we're going to grant an extra turn if we kill them. So what we can do in the arena or something is you steal a shield buff that's on somebody, and then you slam them down, grant an extra turn, and then multi-hitter nuke. So some pretty cool opportunities to do a lot of damage as long as the multipliers are good. His base attack, I know you can't see it, but it is 1674. It's very high. So if his multipliers are decent, the fact that we're ignoring some defense, we're granting an extra turn, and we also only have to build him with 70% crit rate, could be an opportunity to do some big damage, and he may be sliding up the board a little bit on the tier list. But before I tell you anything definitively, I need to do some research today to figure out exactly what these multipliers are going to be, because that is going to be determining everything about his value. If the multipliers are good, he's going to be a pretty solid champion. If the multipliers are going to be bad, he's not going to be. So I will keep you in the loop here on the channel. Make sure you subscribe down below, because you won't want to miss out on all of the information around the multipliers and how they all compare to each other for sure. And we are also getting some balance changes to a Void Legendary in Vlad the Nightborn. Now, Vlad, he can do some damage, but he's been a little bit underwhelming as a Void Legendary. I've always said that Void Legendaries need to be done right, because they are the hardest champions to get in the game, and there's nothing worse than a player finally summoning a Void Legendary and being like, oh, I got a trash Void Legendary. It's just so deflating. So very important to get the Void Legendaries correct. And what we are going to be getting with Vlad is an adjustment to Mind Shroud, the A3 here. And I know you can't see it really there, but this can book to a 3-turn cooldown. So that means he is going to have 2 different AoE abilities that are both on a 3-turn cooldown when booked up. And Vlad can hit decently hard. He's got some pretty decent multipliers. So again, this is adjusting a single target ability to an AoE, so I need to get a little bit of a clarification on the multiplier and exactly how it's going to function. But I really like this change. So look at this. We've got an AoE that can book up to a 100% chance of placing a defense break and a block active skills for not 1 turn, but 2 turns. So we can lock everybody out for 2 turns and also place a perfect veil on Vlad. So we can build him as a massive damage dealer, and he can fill multiple roles for us. He can be the AoE defense break. He can also provide some CC. He can provide damage, and he can also defend himself plus heal himself because his A1 is going to heal him as well. So he's got self-sustain, survivability, defense break, damage, and also CC. So this is going to be an interesting one to test. I believe I actually have a Vlad. I do. I've got a Vlad in the chamber ready to go. So and I have an arrow too as well. So I can actually dive into the game today live on stream or something. Or no, the changes aren't going to be live yet. But as soon as the changes go live, we can do we can do a stream. We can test the multipliers, and I can really throw some good gear on them and let you know if they are worth booking. And I'll also try to get some clarification behind the scenes and keep you in the loop as well. But all in all, I like the pace of the balance changes. We just got some balance changes recently, and they didn't wait 7 months to do it again. I like this. I think this is a good route for them to go. I think you adjust like 2 or 3 champions a month and just kind of keep the game and the champions evolving with buffs like this to bring champions up to par that are underperforming instead of nerfing champions that people have already invested in and have built on their account. So I like this. I think these are both good changes to Vlad and Errol. So I'm excited to test them and see how they shake out now in terms of regrading them and how they will slide up on the tier list and all of that. And we have also got a CvC going on in game. So right now, at least on mine, I think this is universal for most players out there, but we have got the Ice Golem 2x boosted for the first 20k. And then we have also got the miscellaneous objectives right here, which is using gems to acquire points. And both of those are going to be the 2x's that you want to focus on, along with the 10x events being for day 1 is going to be Krisk on the 10x. And then day 2 is going to be a newer non-void legendary in CORSAIR. Now, I'm going to make sure to produce an infographic and hopefully, some more deep dive content in the context of these champions being 10x events during CvC. But, I think people are going to maybe be more interested in going after Krisk. I don't think, CORSAIR looks like a fun champion. I don't think people are going to be YOLOing Ancients or Sacreds, though, because of a few reasons. I think the next guaranteed event we're going to get is going to be probably Ancient Shards. And then also we just had a bunch of crazy events for Sacreds, so people probably aren't sitting on a bunch of those. But Krisk, we have had a bunch of craziness around Voids as well, so it'll probably only be the high spenders or people that are super close to their Mercy system that are going to pull for the Krisk. And you also want to be careful because our next 2x event that we get in game is going to be for Voids. The short answer is it goes Ancient, Sacred, Void. Our most recent one was Sacred, which means the next 2x is going to be Void. So just a few things to consider if you are trying to go after any of these 10x events for CvC. As far as quick tips for CvC, I know a lot of people out there have been waiting to claim Python, and now I did do so as well. This is going to be 60,000 points to go after CvC once I claim Python and book him up and get things rolling. So I will also do a deep dive video on Python and how I'm using him on my main account, so I'm excited for that. So one thing you want to do is check your fragment champions and see if it makes sense. But also another quick tip for CvC is it can be important to get together with your team on Discord and whatnot and monitor, is the match realistic? If you're getting blown out by 5 million points, you might want to just hold off for the next CvC before you claim a bunch of stuff like fragment champions and go hard in the paint. You want to actually do that when it's not hopeless and you're going to win, or at least you have a chance to win. But you do want to set certain minimums in your clan to make sure you're not dropping down a tier. You know how they have like 6 different tiers for where your clan is? You do have to actually get enough points to maintain your tier. But other than that, you may want to min-max a little bit if you're in like a hopeless match, because sometimes the matchmaker will put you in a match where it's an easy win or a guaranteed loss, and you want to really be prepared to optimize when you're in a match that can go either way. For the stuff going on in game, today is going to be the day to slam a bunch of energy potentially into the Fire Knight, because this is going to be our chance to triple dip. We've got the Fire Knight tournament, we've got the 3x artifact drop event for Savage, and then we've also got a CvC live. So there's a lot of value right now in getting after that Fire Knight tournament. And you can also on the right side scoop up the if you get to 3k, you can scoop up a 6-star legendary chaos ore to help you get like a quad, a speed roll or something. It's never bad to acquire things like that. So consider grinding up the Fire Knight today. And then the rest of the stuff is mostly kind of par for the course and nothing too crazy to talk about that we haven't covered already. But also, I anticipate that sometime next week, we'll probably figure out, or we'll start to hear rumblings of what the next Fusion Fragment event champion is going to be, because usually they do about one a month. We just kind of, you know, had a cool down week after the Python events, and then next week we'll probably start to get some teasers for content creators to bring you some content and like sneak peeks at the next Fragment champion, and that'll probably start about 2.5 weeks from now. Then we can take a look at the shop and see what is going on here. So we've got the dungeon pack. Let's go ahead and plug this in really quick here. So we've got 750K. And also, I did do a video recently, if you did not see yesterday, that is worth watching. It talks about some of the inner workings, behind the scenes type of secret stuff around the shop. So if you missed that one yesterday, I'll try to remember to have it pop up and link it down below, but you definitely want to check that one out, especially if you're newer and you don't know exactly how the inner workings of the shop are occurring in relation to your account. But let's go ahead and plug this in. We've got the three, so let's just go in order so I don't get confused here. 5 of those, and then 3 tomes. And boom, 300 energy right there, and then 2 days of XP and 200 gems. A pretty general utility offer, grades out as dead on average. So not amazing, not trash, probably only makes sense for high spenders. Let's go ahead and reset this. Let's put in the 10, and then let's do 600 energy, 300k silver, and then 300 gems, and 600 of the energy. We already did that. Let's do 4 energy refills. Boom. Okay, so not as good. So between the dungeon pack and the special progress pack, we would go with the dungeon pack, but neither one is great. The pack string, this is going to be decent for high spenders and people that are YOLOing for Krisk, but for low spenders, it is going to be a pass. Now, the mini mix pack right here, this is the one you want to go after if you are a low to medium spender for sure. These are a must buy. You want to buy out both of them if you are a medium spender. And if you're a low spender, this is the type of offer that can make sense to kind of break the glass and actually spend a few dollars. And then for the high spenders, that's a no-brainer. Okay, this one is not going to cut it. Okay, so nothing amazing in the shop, but the 101% mini mix packs are some of the best value you'll ever see in game that Plarium offers you. So if you're a spender on Raid, possibly consider scooping those up. And boom, there we go. Would mean a lot to the channel if you subscribe and like the video down below, as it goes a long way to helping me out to produce more content for you. But yeah, let me know what you think about the Vlad and Errol balance changes. I'm excited to get in and test them. I own them both, so as soon as it goes live, I'm sure I'll be live over on the live tab of the channel, testing them out and hanging out with viewers and adjusting them on the tier list and all of that, which, by the way, I'm going to be live over there soon. If you want to come by, hang out during the CvC grind and chill over there, I will be live for a few hours today, but otherwise I will see you soon in the next video. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day and good luck in CvC. Peace.